This comment I seen on I think Virtual Spirit World on Instagram. Somebody did a post, and I'm paraphrasing. I'll put it on the screen. Hit the link in the description. Join the Patreon. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Right. So basically, the girl said, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me, that Megan Thee Stallion don't look right with Klay Thompson. Basically, he's a square. He a square. She don't look right with him because she a square guy. A woman commented, I like a handsome square or something like that, man. And, I might just start calling this series, and I know the question is rhetorical, to be honest. When it asks why do some black men not date black women or won't marry black women, everybody else is married at a higher rate than black women. And black people in general, black to black, right? When you just talking about same race. And I'm just gonna start a series. It's gonna be the first video. I'm gonna just start a series of videos and maybe shorts, all to be in a playlist, for people ever really wondering why. We know black men don't wonder why. We know black women, the question is rhetorical. They don't really wonder why. Everybody else probably wonder why, but watch on the internet, you know why now. And when you say stuff like that, and in the pimp world, a square is anybody that's not, or in the street world, especially the pimp world or the street world, anybody that's not engaged in that activity is considered a square. So when you hear like Sugar Free or, guys like Gorgeous Dre or Pimpin' Ken, I like Pimpin' Ken a lot. I watch his channel, need to probably get a couple of his books. So when they turn around and they be like, well, yeah, he's a square. It doesn't mean that you're a lame or you're lame or you inadequate. It just means you're a regular dude. A doctor could be a square. A CNA can be a square, just throwing shit out there. A cashier can be a square. A lawyer can be a square. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of get in that world, but kind of when you go into the black community, you can kind of like, just when you talking about dating, when you start to really dig into, what a square is, a lot of times you a lame. You a lame. That's what they consider a square. A lame dude. A dude that might talk proper. A dude that might be on the right track. And believe it or not, and I've always said this before in a lot of my videos, and I don't know how many people really pay attention, but I said this before. A lot of the matriarchy, the ladies that's in that matriarchy, the black community, the mothers, the grandmothers, the great-grandmothers, they like scammers, criminals too. They like Pookies and Ray Rays too. Because when it come to you needing money to go to college or you to do something productive, you might need a couple $1,000 to get a car, to get on your feet, and they know you gonna, deliver and get the money back. They don't help you out. How many college students be starving, but then again, somebody in the family go to jail and they ante up, put the house up, they ante up tens of thousands of dollars for him to get out and fight a case, or her to fight a case. But then when it comes for you doing something productive and you want to start a business, or you in college doing something productive, you got to go through survival mode with no help. And then when you do it and you grind, you make it out, you get a lot of jealousy. I always remember Master P on that song, Let Me Get 'Em. You know what I'm saying? He said, I smell jealousy. I smell that shit everywhere I go. When you accomplish, man, dude, I had a homie, man, he gonna know when he hear this shit, because he watched the channel, in the DM, we talking this shit. He's like, yeah, when I got my math, I think he says doctorals, and I ain't gonna say what he got it in. He said his mother was jealous of him. He said, he always told me the best thing he did was get out of his mother's house. I know mothers that told their sons push their sons to do criminal activity, bro. In the black community. No other community do that shit, man, for real. So when we start talking about what a lame and a square is, guess who love lames and squares by the black definition or by the street definition? Other ethnic groups of women. That's why I say it ain't about height, man. It ain't about none of that, bro. When you on the straight and narrow, it's hard to find another black woman that's in the black community who want a dude on the straight and narrow and he trying to figure it out. It's hard. But them same dudes will clean up with Indian women, clean up with Native American women, clean up with Becky's, clean up with Asian women. And it's just like, oh man, I'm gonna go where I want it. And with women, they don't go where they want it. They go where they think they deserve to be. You know what I'm saying? Dude can dog them out and they won't go nowhere, but then all men are dogs. That's just how they wired. We go where, okay, shoot, she fucking with me, she reciprocating, she look out for me, she care for me, I'm gonna go fuck with her. Then you got some women that say, oh, I did that for him, and this dude is a 3 times felon, this dude can't read. So when you start talking about that, I told y'all, man, for them, attraction isn't enough, bro. Even attraction is very key, but it's really about sexual attraction. It's really about sexual attraction, bro. That's what it's about. It's about sexual attraction. And that mean that he might be an ugly dude. I told y'all, I was talking to a chick in college and she went with this ugly dude. She might have just thought he might have just put her through the mattress better. He might have just handled her better. When you growing up, you don't really understand that until you kind of go through it. Until you go through it, bro. So when you talking about, man, they like criminals, and I did the video, black women like criminals. The majority of black women like criminals. And they gonna sit here and lie, but ask them about their sexual history and how easy they gave it to a dude. And we ain't even talk about successful criminals. It ain't too many successful criminals. It ain't too many like Wesley Snipes from Sugar Hill or Nino Brown or my man's from Blue Hill Avenue played by Alan Payne. Ain't too many of them walking around here. Ain't too many big meaches, even on the street level, bro. I remember they had a conversation with Bootsy some years ago. I forget what interview. It might have been on DJ Snitch TV. And they asked him, they was like, yo, what's hood rich? I think it might have been with DC Young Fly. He said 10,000 is hood rich. And he was like, nah, you know, back in the day, maybe. But he said about 50,000. Hey, one case, 50,000, though. And most dudes ain't never touched 50,000. I remember it's a Detroit rapper named Mac Nichols, one of my favorite Detroit rappers. He was in the legendary group, the Lodge Boys. He said something, and I'm from Detroit if y'all ain't know. He said something funny. He said, I know niggas that, in a song he just dropped, he said, I know niggas turn 40 who ain't got 40 stacks, forced to move a bag. That's why they call the shit the trap. Come on, man. Come on, man. Ain't no money in the street for real, especially now. Listen to what he said. He said, I know niggas turn 40 who ain't got 40 stacks, forced to move a bag. That's why they call the shit the trap. Come on, man. Outkast had a song, Spotty Yada Yada Docious. Now, you know, United States Parcel Service won't hire you because you got cloudy piss. Now you forced to be in the trap, just that trap. So this whole infatuation with black women and criminals, bro, you know, they take an ugly criminal over a handsome dude. Just think about this dude, Klay Thompson, is a good dude. He was playing just to play when he was in his heyday. I remember he stayed with it bad. Good dude, clean dude, talk well, speak well, but you know, all that. All that. All that. All that. But you know, she like they don't sit right. They're projecting. They're telling you right then and there. With Klay, her and Klay, what she's saying is, oh, he too good for Megan Thee Stallion. That's what they saying. He's too good for Megan Thee Stallion. Megan need a hood nigga. That's what it is. And that's what they all like. And that's why when and different women do this shit too. This is why when they marry a guy, and they never, especially when it's later in life, late 20s, and after that, and they marry a dude, and they just be like, well, the spark is missing, and he's a good father, he's a good dude, but the spark is missing, right? You know, I want more. This is why I tell y'all her past is very important, because she want what she wants. She don't get past the Pookies, the Ray Ray. She don't get past the dude that gave her the best sexual experience. If she enjoyed that train, she got ran on her, that orgy or the menage a trois, or the guy that just came and laid the pipe and left. Come on, man. That's what she want. You know what I'm saying? You be seeing dudes, you know, smash a girl and throw her out. Smash and throw her out. Get the fuck up out of here. And guess what the girl do? He call her the next night. She come and do the same thing again. You know, she come and do the same thing again. Don't give them a hard time. Come do the same. They like a lot of women like the thrill of getting dogged out, and a lot of dudes are not capable of dogging women out. They grew up in the church. They grew up in the matriarchy to teach and love women the right way. I had a homeboy. He was a musician, right? And this one chick, he found out we was in college. The dorm advisor and then was running a train on her like 6 doors down, and he found out, you know, how she did them, and she, you know. I found out because somebody put a bug in my ear like, yo, man, you know, they running this, you know, damn, for real. So I was like, yo, I gave him a heads up and shit. And she confirmed it. She got pregnant and probably wasn't even his to keep it a big. So, you know, he bought the plan B and shit. I shot him the bread for the plan B, never asked for the shit back. And, you know, he was talking to me. He was like, man, he said, I wasn't raised to really dog women out. She dogged this nigga out and had a nigga back home. But that's a different story for a different day. She dogged it. She used to talk about her roommate like a dog, bro. Oh, December's her name. The roommate name was December. Her name was Akila. She was from like Milwaukee. She used to dog her roommate. She being hoes of a feather flock together. He was like, you know, I just can't dog women out like that, bro. He said, it's just, I wasn't raised that way. He was a church guy. And I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like real shit. A lot of women, especially in the black community, they like the feeling of being dogged out. They like the thrill. It's like people who like roller coasters. They like that thrill. You treat them right, you do everything by the book or everything your mother and your grandmother taught you to do, you know, and it don't work, the smart guys switch it up. Either they go to another group of women that appreciate what they do, or a lot of guys just turn to savages, bro. And they dog these hoes out. And you got some guys who never learn. You got some guys who never learn. They just keep getting played over and over and over again. And they just really turn into, you know, walking wallets, tricks. But that's just the truth of the matter of it is. You know, sometimes that raw attraction can over trump that and how you treat them. But for the most part, the rule of thumb, black women don't want no productive dude. Even the athlete, a lot of these women, they get with athletes and they get a baby and they turn on the athlete. You see them with Puka Nakua. All types of women do it. You see these athletes got these baby mamas. They know what they signed up for with these athletes and what they gonna be doing with. And then they ask these rhetorical questions. Why does the athletes, you know, get with white women? Because they understand. Is the thing, long as I don't give you shit or bring you no drama, you know, you look at Sharon Moore wife is walking with him to the courtroom. They understand the assignment. They ain't so pressed about dick. They not so pressed about sex. A lot of black women, they everything they look at through a man's lens is a sex. Everything how they look at a man is through the lens of sex. So that's what I was kind of telling y'all at the beginning of the video, how I lost a chick or she went with an ugly nigga, you know, because they look at everything through the lens of sex. You know what I'm saying? Everything with women, you know, whether it's how you look, how rough you look, how strong you look. Black women look at it through they sexual base. But then they go, oh, don't sex. Why do y'all sexualize? They whole premise on most black women whole premise on finding a man is based off sex. They sexual marketplace value. That's what it's based off of. You know, not your character, not your morality, not that you legit, not that you a good man. And they think most criminals, they get a thrill with dealing with certain criminals, Pookies and Ray Rays and homeless guys. Oh, they put us through the mattress and this, that, and the third. You hear those type of things, bro. And they don't think 9 to 5 guys, you know, or guys that got careers can do that because, you know, even entrepreneurs got less time than a 9 to 5 guy. So they don't really think, oh, they can't really sex us the way we want to be sexed or something like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, to keep it a bean, they don't want legit dudes. They don't want to be treated right. They want something to complain about. They don't want your legitimacy. They don't want it. They don't want your legitimacy. They don't want your productivity until, you know, they burnt out sexually. But even then, when they've been through the ringer and they've been through the kids, the x-ray, let's just say they've been out there, they got a clean bill of health, they still in shape, they still look good, they're in their mid-30s, it's still trauma. You can treat them right, do everything right. If it's in you, it's in you. If they like being free and being a hoe and they like doing what they want to do and not being on nobody plan, they not a wife. I can understand a dude saying, I'm gonna marry a woman that was in that got divorced because another man seen value in her to marry her. And if she understands what she did wrong, or she understands what the marriage entails, you got a better chance of marrying a recently divorced woman or a divorced woman, right? Then you got marrying a woman that's in her late third, let's say mid 30s. She's stuck in her ways. Eventually, she's going to go back to what she wants. It's not to the women are not like guys. You see guys, you hear stories about guys that had hard times and they got back on their feet. They ain't never going back to that. They ain't never going back to hard times. They'll die before they go. Women want to go back to the thrill, to the Pookies, to the Ray Rays, to, I barely keep my lights on, but I can do what I want to do. I can do what I want to do. For black women, the number one thing is, other than dick, that's why I like dealing with, and I tell guys, they don't deal with guys in the gray area. The gray area are the 9-to-5 guys, the hardworking, productive, legit guys. It could be doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, all that. They deal with top or the bottom. The top guys, because, top guys too busy making money. They on the road, they traveling so they can do whatever they want to do. Or they deal with the bottom of the barrel guys so they can do what they want to do, but them guys need them. So if them guys, trip about them doing and controlling the household, they just kick them out the house. That's what they deal with. So we started to have these conversations about that. That's why I'm trying to piece it together for y'all to understand it. They always gonna revert back to what they wanted. If they like trains or they like dealing with Pookies, you can show her a completely new lifestyle. You can show her how to invest her money. You can make her a housewife. You can give her everything she wanted. And then you catch her with Pookie's dick in her mouth. Or find out she been cheating. Find out she been stashing money on the side. Find out she taking advantage of you. Find out the kids ain't yours. That's why you don't date older women. Only older women that you really probably should date, that you really probably should consider, is women that was already married. So appreciate that. Hit the link in the description. Join the Patreon. Peace.